During the COVID lockdown, this headline went viral. Nearly half of men say they do most of the homeschooling. 3% of women agree. I bring this up not to debate who's right, but because it's a great example of something called egocentric bias. Most people think they do most of the work. For example, researchers have asked authors of multi-author papers what percentage of the work they personally did. And when they add up those percentages, the sum is on average 140%. When couples are asked to estimate how much of the housework they do, the combined total is almost always over 100%. Now, you might think this is because people want to appear more helpful than they actually are, but that's not it. When couples are asked what fraction of the fights they start or how much of the mess is theirs, the total is again over 100. People think they do more of the work, but they also think they cause more of the problems. So why is this? I think it's simply because you experience and remember vividly all of what you do, but not all of what everyone else does. So naturally, you overestimate your own contributions and underestimate others. And I think this bias leads us to underestimate the influence of other things on our lives, like the role luck plays in our success.
This is like when you play a game of fucking League or whatever, and you get like 2 kills, and you're like, dude, I did everything. Where the fuck is the team's damage, dude? But in fact, you didn't do anything. You actually didn't do anything. You got half a kill and you died, literally.
Hockey players, for example. If you ask a professional hockey player how they managed to reach the NHL, they might mention their hard work, determination, great coaches, their parents' willingness to get up at 5 a.m. and so on. But they probably won't acknowledge how lucky they were to be born in January. And yet, in many years, 40% of hockey players selected into top-tier leagues are born in the first quarter of the year, compared to just 10% in the fourth quarter. An early birthday can make you up to 4 times as likely to be a pro hockey player. And the reason for this disparity
we've seen this. It's a good video, though.
The cutoff date for kids' hockey
This is a
leagues
great video.
January 1st. Those born in the first part of the year are a little older and so on average bigger and faster than kids in their league born late in the year. Now, as they grow up, this difference should eventually shrink to nothing, but it doesn't. Because the young kids who show the most promise are given more time on the ice and enter more tournaments where they receive better coaching and improve their skills. And these advantages compound year after year, so by the time you get to the pros, birthdays are heavily skewed towards the start of the year. But does any professional hockey player feel thankful for their birthday? Probably not. And we are all like that, largely oblivious to the fortunate events that support our success.
True.
Probably the most significant bit of luck many of us enjoy is being born into a prosperous country. Around half the variance in income received by people around the world is explained by their country of residence and that country's income distribution. If you were born in Burundi, for example, which has the world's lowest gross national income per capita of just $730 a year, it doesn't matter how smart or hardworking you are, you're unlikely to earn much as an adult. Now, many people get offended if you point out how big a role chance plays in their success. And I get it. If we are just a product of our circumstances, then our hard work and our talent seem to count for nothing. People think it has to be either skill or luck that explains success. But the truth is, you need both. Take these 8 track and field world records. All the athletes who achieved these records are obviously world class, extremely dedicated and talented, and yet when they achieved their world records, 7 out of 8 had a tailwind. Now, these athletes all had the ability to win a gold medal, but to set the world record required a bit of luck as well. The importance of luck increases the greater the number of applicants applying for just a few spaces.
Tailwind.
Consider the most recent class of NASA astronauts. From over 18,300 applicants in 2017, only 11 were selected and went on to graduate from the astronaut training program. Now, we could make a toy model of the selection process.
I would.
Let's assume that astronauts are selected mostly based on skill, experience, and hard work, but also, say, 5% as a result of luck, fortunate circumstances. For each applicant, I randomly generated a skill score out of 100, and I also randomly generated a luck score out of 100. Then I added those numbers together, weighted in the 95:5 ratio to get an overall score. This score represents the selector's judgments, meaning the top 11 by this metric would become astronauts. And I repeated this simulation 1,000 times, representing 1,000 different astronaut selections. And what I found was the astronauts who were picked were very lucky. They had an average luck score of 94.7. So how many of the selected astronauts would have been in the top 11 based on skill alone? The answer was on average only 1.6. That means, even with luck accounting for just 5% of the outcome, 9 or maybe 10 of the 11 applicants selected would have been different if luck played no role at all.
Yeah, but that's because it compounds, right? Right?
When competition is fierce, being talented and hardworking is important, but it's not enough
to where that margin is the difference. Right?
Guarantee success. You also need to catch a break. Largely, I think we're unaware of our good luck because by definition, it's not something we did. Like the housework done by your significant other, it goes unappreciated. And
yes, because there's so many, exactly. So at the end, you need your contestants to be very smart and very lucky. And if not, then they can't make it in just because of that factor, right?
Here's the crazy thing. Downplaying the importance of chance events may actually improve your probability of success. Because if you perceive an outcome to be uncertain, you're less likely to invest effort in it, which further decreases your chances of success. So it's a useful delusion to believe you are in full control of your destiny. I mean, if I had known how bad I was when I started YouTube, or how much work it would take, I might have given up right then.
Welcome to Veritasium, an online science video blog.
Now, there may be another benefit to overlooking your lucky breaks.
Dude, he looks actually cooked.
It makes it easier to...
There
may be another benefit.
Why does he look so high?
Veritasium, an online science video blog.
Now, there may be another benefit to overlooking your lucky breaks, which is it makes it easier to justify your place in society. If you have a lot of wealth or power, you can just chalk it up to your own intelligence, effort, and perseverance. It makes it easier to accept inequality. In one experiment, participants were put in groups of 3 in small rooms to discuss a complex moral problem. And one person in each group was randomly designated the team leader. Half an hour later, the experimenter came by with 4 cookies for each team. So who got the extra cookie? In each case, it went to the team leader. Even though they had no special aptitude, they didn't have extra responsibilities, and they'd gotten their position through chance alone. Once you have achieved a certain status, it seems natural to feel like you deserve it, and all the other good things that come your way. Now, this is just an anecdote, but whenever I've been upgraded to fly business class, I've always observed the worst behavior in my fellow privileged passengers. They just act so entitled and uncourteous. And research has found evidence for this as well. In another experiment, participants were asked to think of a good thing that happened to them recently. And then one group was asked to list their own personal qualities or actions that made that good thing happen. Another group was asked to list external factors beyond their control.
How does that mean? I fly economy premium, and I use the fucking seat with the bullshit that say if things start exploding, do you agree that you're gonna help? And I have to sign yes, I will help, or some bullshit. Yeah, that literally.
That led to the event, and a control group was simply.
It gives you more leg room, dude. I always choose that
for
shit.
Completing this task,
if shit were to explode, fuck no, I would open the door.
Participants were told they would be paid $1. But at the end, they were offered the option to donate some or all of the money to a charity. Results showed those who listed their own personal attributes contributed 25% less than those who listed external factors beyond their control.
I'm just kidding.
Now, think of what all this means for people in our society, specifically for people in positions of power, like business leaders and politicians. Now, undoubtedly, most of them are talented and hardworking, but they have also been luckier than most. And like most of us, they don't realize just how lucky they are. And this gives them a distorted view of reality. They're kind of living in a form of survivor bias. All these leaders have worked hard and ultimately succeeded, so to them the world appears fair. In their experience, it rewards hard work. But what they don't have is the experience of all the people who have worked hard and failed. So what are they to make of people less successful than themselves? Well, the natural conclusion is that they must just be less talented or less hardworking. And this perspective makes them less inclined.
Wait, this is a what? I don't know what you said.
Work. But what they don't have is the experience of all the people who have worked hard and failed. So what are they to make of people less successful than themselves? Well, the natural conclusion is that they must just be less talented or less hardworking. And this perspective makes them less inclined to be generous, to give back. And they are the ones who set the rules for how society operates.
Guys, that is literally the opposite of me. I was fortunate enough, dude, to stream twice. You guys don't know this, okay? I used to be a streamer in French. Literally. It was from the bottom and then I grew as a streamer, and I was a French streamer. So I grew from literally the bottom, and I grew the skills, and I swapped entirely to English and Overwatch, and went back to completely zero, and I redid it again, literally.
And this is particularly unfortunate since one of the main ways many of us are lucky is in our country of residence. But what is a country except for...
So not only did I not get insane boosts, whatever, at the beginning, medium, or end, I did it twice from the beginning. I don't know what you're talking about.
put there by people who came before. The roads and the schools, public transport, emergency services, clean air and water, everything like that. It seems a cruel trick of our psychology that successful people without any malice will credit their success largely to their own hard work and ingenuity, and therefore contribute less to maintaining the very circumstances that made that success possible in the first place. The good news is that acknowledging our fortunate circumstances not only brings us more in line with reality, it also makes us more likable. In a study where people had to read the transcript of a fictional 60 Minutes interview with a biotech entrepreneur, experimenters tried changing just the last paragraph where the interviewee is talking about the reasons for their company's success. In one version, the entrepreneur personally takes credit for the success they've had, but in the other, he says luck played a significant role. Now, people who read the luck version of the transcript judged the entrepreneur as kinder and thought they'd be more likely to be close friends with him than those who read the other version of the transcript. And raising our awareness of fortunate events can also...
Guys, it was pure luck. It was literally all luck. I just rolled the dice many times, and I hit a Yahtzee every fucking roll, boys. Guys, every roll was pure luck, insane, dude.
Because it allows us to feel gratitude. Personally, I am grateful to Michael Stevens of Vsauce, who on October 7th, 2012, posted the video, How Much Does a Shadow Weigh?, which shouts out my slow motion slinky drop video. And within 3 days, my subscribers had increased by 1/3, and within a month, they had doubled, leading me to quit my part-time job and work exclusively on YouTube videos. And I'm grateful to the writer of the free newspaper they give out on the trains in Sydney, who didn't quite understand electricity, leading me to post this picture of their article to my Instagram with the caption, What's wrong with...
Guys, people often forget and downplay the existence of the fact that knowing how to receive luck is a skill that you can hone, that you can learn, and that you can become better at. Learning how to be lucky is just as important as luck itself. If you learn how to receive luck better than other people, you will be more lucky. The reality is, you were lucky a bunch of times and you weren't receiving it. You weren't ready, or you weren't skilled enough to receive that luck. That's how it works, literally.
With this picture, and I'm lucky that the first person to answer correctly was...
Yes, you can learn. Yes, you can learn. Learning how to see an opportunity that flies next to you, learning how to see an opportunity as an opportunity is literally is very important. It's very important. Like if you're at your fucking, yeah, it's how it works though. Downplaying that is pure delusion. Guys, I said this last time. I could literally host a bad streamer 10 times, and the reality is he probably wouldn't break the fucking 500 viewers after a week of streaming it, right? Of being host every day. Why? Simple. Because sometimes people aren't ready for it. They're not. They don't see it as a possibility, right? So when it happens, they don't know what to do, right? It's kind of like when you're playing a game and you become better at it, and you're like a pro, you're like a diamond player. What happens when you guys look at a player who's worse than you, like a bronze player? Dude, he could have flash ulted. Dude, flash ult. Dude, jump headshot. Right? But he doesn't see it. He has an opportunity to get a kill right now, right? But he doesn't see it as an opportunity, right? He isn't ready to receive that luck, right? If you are a good player and you've learned that, you know when an opportunity is there because you're not blind to it. You now see it as an opportunity. Seeing is important, and you can learn that and hone that as a skill, dude. That's what I meant by putting your names in the hat. Okay? How can you expect to be drawn from a hat with names in it if you have no names in the hat? It's impossible. It's literally impossible. If you have no names, by learning how to be lucky, by learning how to catch the raindrops, right? Then you'll catch a raindrop. But if you're inside all day, what are the odds of you getting a raindrop on your head? 0%. Zero. You will never get a raindrop. And it's often the people who stay inside all day, who complain that they're not getting raindrops, that everyday people out there are only in certain positions because they got raindrops, or they got a lot of raindrops, when in fact, they were stuck inside all day, never ready, never prone to get a raindrop because they're a bunch of fucking bitch ass hoes. That's who. Bitch ass suckers do that shit. Bitch ass suckers do that. I hope you guys don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be like that.
Was a beautiful woman who became my future wife.
Yep, that is how I met your mother.
Now, initially, I wanted to make this video just to say our circumstances and psychology conspire to make us oblivious to our own luck. And this leads successful people to view the world as fair and those less successful than them as less talented or less hardworking. And this is before you factor in any discrimination or prejudice. But it also became apparent to me that I should talk about what to do if you want to be successful in such a world. And I think the best advice is paradoxical.
Yes, that is a skill. Okay? Imagine a world, dude, where you were lucky like 10 times that would have been life-changing and you were too fucking dumb to see it as an opportunity and you completely missed it. Imagine that. Imagine you're about to fucking die, okay, you're like 80, 90 years old, and I tell you, hey man, let's do a review of your life here, man. I got the stats here, man. There was 12 times where you could have made it, you could have went hard, and you didn't. You were lucky, but you were too much of a dumb fuck to get it. How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? How would you feel if you got those stats? I mean, you'd feel like garbage.
First, you must believe that you are in complete control of your destiny and that your success comes down only to your own talent and hard work. But second, you've got to know that's not true for you or anyone else. So you have to remember, if you do achieve success, that luck played a significant role and given you good fortune, you should do what you can to increase.
I have a good example, chat. I have a good example. Guys, how many times have you seen your crush or the person you think looks nice, or the girl, right? Right? And you saw her, right? And you didn't say anything, and they're just gone. They're gone. You never saw them again, never whatever, right? Right? You were lucky enough to find that cool person, and they were right there. And what did you do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? And in the future, you'll be like, it was whatever, dude. But think about it. You were lucky that happened, that they were melee range, but you didn't do anything, right? So you were lucky, but you were just bad. It is what it is.
Increase the luck of others. Hey, so I had an idea for what I could do to increase the luck of others, and that is to give away 100 Snadams kits to people who couldn't otherwise afford them.
It's okay. Now that you're aware, maybe when you're lucky next time, you'll be ready for luck.
So if you didn't know, Snadams is a product that I invented and kickstarted 5 years ago. It's a molecular modeling kit where all the atoms snap together magnetically. Now, I made it because I really wanted to tackle the misconception that bonds store energy. They don't. It takes energy to break them, and you can feel that with Snadams. Recently, I completely retooled Snadams.
Okay, that was cool though. I enjoyed that video though. I'm very grateful though. I was very lucky though. Overall, I was and am extremely lucky, right?